Hello everyone, in this video we will be discussing potassium permanganate, its preparation, structural aspect and properties. It's a part of D and F block elements class 12. So we begin with preparation. It can be prepared from pyrolucito. It's an important question which can be asked for 3 marks. Prepare this from pyrolucito, or it can be even asked in terms of ABC. Like it's reacting to form some product A, which is further reacting forming B, and so on. So potassium permanganate can be prepared by fusion of MnO2, which is a pyrolucito, with alkali metal hydroxide. You can just see here in the equation also it's given simultaneously. MnO2, there is pyrolucito, it treated with alkali, that is metal hydroxide, and an oxidizing agent. That oxidizing agent can be air or it can be KNO3, anything. Okay, this will produce dark green color. This is green color. Now this is different, children. This is potassium permanganate and K2MnO4. This is potassium manganate. This is potassium manganate. This is green color. At times it can be asked like MnO2, KOH, and this is forming some green colored compound A, which is further acidified, and it will form some compound B, which is violet color. Okay, so this way the question can be framed. It produces a green color compound, that is potassium manganate, which disproportionates in neutral or acidic medium. Okay, in equation you'll be writing acidic medium. In acidic medium, manganate gets converted to permanganate. Permanganate is this one. This is violet color. You also use this potassium permanganate in volumetric analysis, that is to titrate with the mode salt and oxalic acid. Okay, so if not this thing, at least the 2 equations you will definitely remember. You will write MnO2, alkaline medium, it reacts with air, or it can be some other oxidizing agent, potassium nitrate. It will first form green colored compound K2MnO4, potassium manganate. This further in the acid medium converts into potassium permanganate and MnO2. MnO2 is also there in the lab. You can see it's black color powder. Okay, this is the first method. The second method is you can prepare it by oxidative fusion of MnO2 followed by, it's actually the same thing, but it is electrolytic oxidation. It's electrolytic oxidation of manganate to permanganate. Okay, the basic thing is the same. The next method, children, is this. In lab you can prepare. You can prepare by this oxidizing Mn2 plus ion by peroxydisulfate. Okay, by using peroxydisulfate. Mn2 plus is oxidized to this. Okay, Mn2 plus is oxidized to permanganate in the presence of peroxodi. I hope you remember what is peroxodi. It's disulfate with that peroxy linkage. If you see, its structure is something like this. This is O, double bond, O. This is minus, this is minus. This is the peroxide linkage. There are 2 sulfates. In a way, if you hide this, this is one sulfate, this is another sulfate. 2 sulfates are linked by, that peroxide linkage. So it is peroxodisulfate. This is a good oxidizing agent. It is having the highest oxidation state. So this peroxodisulfate can oxidize Mn2 plus to MnO4 minus. That is permanganate ion is obtained. Okay, so this is the equation. You can balance it by your usual method, ion electron method. That is Mn2 plus to MnO4 minus, balance it separately in acid medium. Same way, peroxodisulfate you convert to this one and balance it accordingly. Fine. Now we move on to the next point. This is just the color mentioned. It's dark purple color, violet color. If you check the crystals, it's black, but actually when you make a solution, it is violet color. And it's isostructural with potassium chlorate, that is potassium perchlorate. Okay, it's not, the salt is not very much soluble because you can see that colored matter, no? So it's not completely transparent. So this is important. This one is very, very important. On heating, potassium permanganate, which is violet color, gets converted into potassium manganate. K2MnO4 plus MnO2 plus O2. Please learn this equation. This equation is very, very important. On heating, permanganate forms manganate, and then MnO2 plus oxygen is also formed. Right. Another important thing is K2MnO4 is paramagnetic. Paramagnetic means it is having some unpaired electron. So it's because of the presence of unpaired electron. Whereas this permanganate is diamagnetic. Manganate is paramagnetic with unpaired electron, and permanganate is diamagnetic, which is not having any unpaired electron. Now moving on to the structural aspect. Okay, now let's see the structure. For both K2MnO4 and KMnO4, we are just isolating their ions and then drawing their structure. This is the ion obtained from manganate. This one, MnO4 2 minus, MnO4 just minus is permanganate. So in both, the structure is tetrahedral. Both are tetrahedral. So you will draw Mn in the center. You will have 4 oxygens surrounding them. Right? So there is only one negative charge in it. So you will put one oxygen as minus, and the remaining oxygens double bond. In this one, there are 2 oxygens with the negative charge because there are 2 minus, and remaining 2 oxygens with the double bond. Okay, so you will draw the structure, and color already I told you. This one is violet color and this is green color. Permanganate is green color. Okay. Now moving on to the properties. KMnO4 is a very good oxidizing agent. First thing, how do you justify it's a good oxidizing agent? Because Mn in this is in the highest oxidation state. Whenever any element is in its highest oxidation state, it has to act as an oxidizing agent. Means it has to now reduce. It cannot go beyond 7. So this is oxidizing agent. In acid medium, there are 2 mediums which we have to discuss. The first is acid medium. KMnO4 in the acid medium itself obviously will undergo reduction. So this undergoes reduction to form Mn2+. So then again, like in potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, I told you, you will just learn separately कि permanganate will oxidize which all things. And then balancing equation you can do there and then. Like suppose I want to balance this. This will be the common thing which you are going to add on to all other equations. So let us balance this first. I am writing this again. MnO4 minus is forming Mn2+, balanced by the ion electron method. First balance other elements other than O and H, which is already done. So you then balance oxygen. Oxygen balancing is done by adding water molecule. So you will add water molecule, that is 4 oxygens less, so you will add 4 water molecules. After that, the next step is balance hydrogen. We can balance hydrogen by adding in the acid medium by adding H+, so 8 H+, because 8 are less on the left hand side. Then we balance charges. On the left hand side, the total charge comes out to be 7. 8 into 1, 8 minus 1, 7 on this side. Plus 7 here, and this side the charge is 2. So you will be adding 5 electrons on the left hand side. So this is your final equation. Your final equation is MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5 electrons form Mn2 plus 4 H2O. And the another one is this KMnO4 can oxalate ion to carbon dioxide. You can use this balancing method in your practicals also with oxalic acid getting oxidized to carbon dioxide. So what you can do is you can balance this equation separately. C2O4 2 minus plus this is forming CO2. Okay, so now let me use another color for balancing it. Actually should have used blue. So fine. So you can just balance oxygen, other elements other than O and H first. We have balanced carbon. Then oxygen already is balanced. There are 4 here, 4 here. Only charges are left. There is no hydrogen. So for balancing charges, you will add electrons. This side you have minus 2 charge. This side you don't have. So 2 electrons. And when you're adding these 2 equations, in a way, it's something like that. Permanganate has oxidized oxalate to carbon dioxide. Now you have to make the electrons equal. To make electrons, what you will do? You will multiply this equation with the, because there are 5, you will multiply this with 2. This you are going to multiply with 5 and rewrite this whole equation by multiplying with 2 and with 5 and add them. So I am multiplying the first equation with 2. That becomes 10 electrons plus 16 H plus 2 MnO4 minus gives you 2 Mn2 plus 8 H plus. That is, I have multiplied the first equation with 2 and the lower equation with 5. So it is 5 C2O4 2 minus, that's it. It gives 10 CO2 plus 10 electrons. So when you add them, your electrons get cancelled, right? So you are left over with what equation we are writing here? It is 5 C2O4 2 minus, I am writing that Mn part first, MnO4 minus plus 16 H plus, it gives you 2 Mn2 plus 10 CO2 plus 8 H2O. You can now check the balancing part on your own. It's correct or not. Carbon is correct, 10. Charges first you should check actually. The charge on the left hand side is minus 10, minus 12 and plus, so plus 4 you have, and right side also plus 4. So majorly if the charges are right, that means your equation is balanced. Okay, so carbon dioxide, Mn, yeah, everything is balanced. Okay, so that means this equation is your main and you will be adding this permanganate equation to all of them. Which all? You will be learning like this. You will be learning it like this, that permanganate oxidizes ferrous to ferric, nitrite to nitrate, oxide to iodine, H2S to sulfur, sulfite to sulfate and so on. Okay, the first thing is I will copy that main equation on the top because that is the common one for all of them. I am writing the main equation on the top, that is 5. Let me begin with MnO4. MnO4 minus plus 5 electrons plus you have 8 H plus. It will give you Mn2 plus plus 4 H2O. So this equation is common which you are adding others. Okay, so let us balance it. This is also your equation which you use in volumetric analysis, that is Mohr salt you are oxidizing to, that is ferrous to ferric. Okay, so what you do is ferrous to ferric. You will be learning like that कि permanganate has oxidized ferrous to ferric, nitrate to nitrate and so on. Balance this equation individually and each of them individually and add it to the first one. So this is simple. You are just adding one electron. There is nothing else to be balanced. So you'll just multiply this equation with 5 to make the number of electrons equal and add it. That's it. So let me write down the final equation comes out to be, now the first equation need not be multiplied with anything because that is only 5 and this only had to be made 5. MnO4 minus, so electrons will not be there, 8 H plus you will have 5 Fe2 plus. 5 Fe2 plus, it will give you Mn2 plus you have 4 H2O plus 5 Fe3 plus. That's it. Okay, so you have added this permanganate to this one, ferrous to ferric. Let's balance this. Let me write down the equation first. Nitrite to nitrate. Okay, let me balance here only. Oxygen, other elements are already done. So we'll balance oxygen first by adding water molecule on the left hand side. Then you have to balance hydrogen. Hydrogen balancing by adding 2H plus. Oxygen is balanced. Then you have hydrogen also balanced. Now let's check charges. Charges on the left hand side are -1. This side you have is +1. Okay, this side you have is +1. So you'll have to add electrons. This side is -1 charge. This side is +2 and -1. So you will have +1 on this side. So how many charges are extra here? The charges are -1 and +1. So you will be adding electrons. Electrons, we will add 2 electrons on this side. 2 electrons on this side. 2 electrons means you are actually making this also -1. So it's fine now. So what you do is, this equation has to be added to the first one. Means you have to multiply this equation with 5 so as to make it 10, and this equation with 2. This equation with 2. So let me rewrite the whole equation by multiplying first with 2 and this with 5. Okay. So that with 2. First one is with 2. So you will write down 2 MnO4 minus. Okay. Electrons will get cancelled. So we are not writing. This will be your 16H plus, the first equation. 16H plus. I have cancelled the electrons. Okay. The H plus will be cancelled later. It will give you 2Mn2 plus. 2Mn2 plus plus it will be 8 water. I am writing this lower equation again below it by multiplying with 5 electrons. I am not writing again. So this with 5 means it will be 5NO2 minus, plus you will have this with 5 means 5 water. 5 water. So this will give you 5 nitrate NO3 minus, plus this with again 10H plus. That's it, because electrons I have already cancelled. When you are adding it, so what you will have, electrons already done, this will be cancelled and you are left over with only 6 this side. This will be cancelled, you are left over with only 3. So your equation becomes 2 MnO4 minus, plus you have 5 NO2 minus, plus 6H plus. It will give you 2 Mn2 plus, plus 5 nitrate ion, plus 3 water. That's it. This is done now. Okay, so this is how you are going to balance it. This is very, very simple. You will balance this thing and 2 electrons. That's it. So for this I can just have a shortcut. This with 5, that with 2. Because electrons, each of these, I hope you are following. This one, each of these is to be added to the first main equation. So that with 2. So when I multiply the upper equation with 2, I will get this equation. Which I already wrote here. Okay. So you will have 2 MnO4 minus plus 16H plus. Okay. So there is nothing getting cancelled but for electrons. So I'll just make little short and I'll add this directly. 2I minus, no, it will be multiplied with 5. This equation is to be multiplied with 5. So 5 means it will be now 10. Okay, it will be 10 iodide minus. Right. So then further, go on writing. This will be 10I minus. Nothing left on the left hand side. Now right hand side. The first equation with the 2 Mn2 plus, plus you have 8 H2O, and this as such I have to copy down 5 I2. 5 I2. That's it. Because there was nothing else to be cancelled. So there is no H plus, no water to be cancelled, so I directly wrote it. This one. The equation balancing other than O, H, there is nothing. O is not there. Only H balancing is there, so you will have H balancing. Then you will have to balance electrons, so 2 electrons to be balanced. That's it. This equation to be multiplied with 5, that equation with 2. And I will just write down the final equation because you have enough of practice. So this you multiply with 5 and the upper equation iodide, this permanganate with 2. Cancel out the things. So you will have the final equation as 5 S2 minus plus 2 MnO4 minus plus 16 H plus gives you 2 Mn2 plus 8 H2O and 5 sulfur. Okay, so you can balance it like this. So this one again we will balance. Other elements are not there. Oxygen balancing by adding water molecule on the left hand side. Hydrogen balancing by adding H plus on the desired side. Let's check the charges. Left side the charges are -2. The right side the charges are 0. Okay, so you'll have to add 2 electrons here again. Again multiplying this with 5 and the first equation with 2. Right. So you will get the final equation as 5 SO3 2 minus plus 2 MnO4 minus, plus you will have 6H plus. After cancelling out the like charges, like H plus and all, I am writing the final equation. Mn2 plus 3H2O, plus you have the last one as 5 sulfate, 5SO4 2 minus. Got it? Till here clear? So now we move on to the oxidizing behavior in the neutral or the alkaline medium. So this is your main equation. Yeah, as per your main equation, permanganate itself gets reduced to MnO2 and it can oxidize one iodide to iodate. This is IO3 minus. Then you have thiosulfate to sulfate and Mn2 plus to MnO2. So let's start balancing in the alkaline medium. So other elements not there, balance oxygen by adding water molecule to the desired side. Alkaline medium slightly different, right? So the oxygen balancing is same like the acid medium. Basic medium, hydrogens are 4. So 4 are less. Wherever less, that side, as many less hydrogens you add water and the same number of OH minus the other side. There were 4 less hydrogens, so 4 water and 4 OH minus also you are adding. So do not go for actual counting of hydrogens. Why I am adding 4. Okay, now charges. Now the left side charges are minus 1. This is only there. And the right side charges are minus 4. So that means you will have to add on the left side 3 electrons to make it equal. 3 electrons you will have to add on the left hand side. Okay. So this equation remains same. This equation you are going to add on to all of them. That is MnO4 minus plus water also I can cancel out. This I will be left over with only 2 water molecules on the left hand side. Yes. So I will be left with only 2 water extras I am writing on the left side. 2 water molecules on the left side. So 3 electrons here. So it is forming MnO2 plus 4OH minus. So this is my equation. So this equation is to be added to each of them. Now let's start balancing the other equations. I'm balancing this one. So balance oxygen first. Oxygen balancing by adding water molecule. There are 3 less, so 3 water molecules, sorry. It will be 3 water molecules on the left side. Then hydrogen balancing. Deficient side you will add as many less. 6 were less on the right side, so 6 water here and 6 OH minus the other side. Now charges, left side you have 7 minus and this side you have only minus 1. So 6 electrons will be added here. So to equalize it, the first equation is to be multiplied with 2 and the lower equation is to be multiplied. No, lower is not to be multiplied. So what you will do is on multiplying this upper equation with 2, making 6 electrons and adding this equation with that iodide equation. I am writing the final equation because I have practiced it many times. We have already balanced many. So 2MnO4 minus plus after cancelling the water molecule excess, whichever side that I am writing. So since we did not multiply this equation with anything, I am getting only I minus. It will result in the formation of 2MnO2. I have multiplied the upper equation with 2 throughout and 2OH minus plus I will have IO3 minus. This is my final equation left over. In the basic medium, MnO4 minus oxidizes iodide to iodate. Got it? Let's balance this one. Other than oxygen and hydrogen, so I'll put 2 here for sulfur. Now I have 8 oxygen this side and I have only 3 here. So you will have 5 less on the left side. 5 less oxygens you have, that means 5 water molecules. Then hydrogens are less on the right hand side, so 10 are less, so 10 water and you will have 10 OH minus on the left hand side. Now let's go for the electrons. You will have minus 12 on the left side, so 8 electrons here. You will have 8 electrons. Okay. So further you will have now this equation to be added to this equation. So what you will do is how to make electrons equal. This side is 3 electrons, this side is 8. You can do one thing, you can multiply this with 3, make it 24 and that with 8. This with 8 to make it 24 electrons. So electrons will get cancelled. So this equation, upper one you multiply with 8, this equation with 3 and add it to that first equation. On doing so, you will get the final equation 8 MnO4 minus plus 3S2O3 2 minus plus you'll have water. It will give you 8 MnO2 plus 6SO4 2 minus plus you will have 2OH minus. Got it? Now only one last equation left over. We will balance this also. Oxygen balancing. You will add 2 water molecules on the deficient side. Now 4 hydrogens here, there is nothing here. So 4 water here and 4 OH minus this side. Charges, left side the charges are minus 2. This side you don't have any. So 2 electrons will be added on this side. Okay. So what we will do is, to make it equal, what we have to do is you have to multiply this equation with 3 and that with 2. Okay, let me write down this equation because there is something which I have to tell you. Upper equation with 2. So you're writing 2 MnO4 minus plus, you have to multiply. So 4 water now. Multiply with 2. So 4 water plus 6 electrons. It will give you 2 MnO2 and 8 OH minus. Let us check whether we have done correct. 2, 4, 6, 2 and 8. Right. The lower equation I have to multiply with 3. So it will be 3 Mn2 plus 6 water and with 3 means 12 OH minus. You will get multiplying with 3 MnO2 and multiplying with 3 means 12 water and you will have 6 electrons. So let's start doing it. You can cancel out, electrons will get cancelled. What else? Water on left side total is 10. 4 and 6. So 10, I'll just cancel the whole thing. I'm left with only 2 waters on the right hand side. Right. And OH minus, this I'll cancel. I'm left with only 4 on the left hand side. Let me copy this. Okay. Then I'll tell you the important point. Yes. This is 2 MnO4 minus. Then I'm left with 3 Mn2 plus. Then I'm left with 4 OH minus and 5 MnO2 and 2 H2O. I'm left over with this. Right. So this is your equation which you are getting by the normal balancing. But just to get that equation, what you are having in your NCERT book, what you do is you add 4 H plus on both the sides, left and right both. If I add 4 H plus on the left hand side and 4 H plus on the right hand side, this 4 H and 4 OH will combine and will form 4 water molecules. Yes. So it will give you 2 Mn. This is same. 3 Mn2 plus. This will be 4 water molecules. So 4 water, this is plus. 4 water molecules forming 5 MnO2 plus 2 H2O plus 4 H plus. So this extra water also now I can cancel out. This side I can remove and I can write only on the left side 2. This is the equation you will find in your NCERT book. This at 3 Mn2 plus 2 water on the right side is not there. So this you can check it, children. This is the equation which is there in your NCERT book. Okay. Just make note of this equation, children. Next further, just almost it's over. This is important thing. In the acid medium, you must have noticed in your volumetric analysis, you're not using HCl to make it acid medium. We're using sulfuric acid because HCl will get oxidized to chlorine and the chlorine will interfere in your titrations. Right? And then 2 uses are there. Permanganate, potassium permanganate is a good oxidizing agent. It can be used for bleaching of wool, cotton, silk, etc. and decolorizing oil, decolorization of oil. Okay, so please learn the balancing of equations properly. That is an oxidizing agent, as an oxidizing agent in acid or the basic medium, plus that preparation of potassium permanganate from pyrolysis cyto. Okay, thank you.